Thanks for having me. I'm going to be reading Ecotone. And before I start, I just want to say it includes 3 lines from the poets Jennifer S. Chang, Lao Tzu, and the late Jane Mead. Ecotone. It's such a wilderness. It surrounds us, she says. Go through it. Pull yourself to the center. Open your heart to what the mind remembers, which too is a forgetting. Don't you feel it? Begin outside the body. Once a voice that speaks the language of all things touched, caressed, held too close. That yearns for the words of 1,000 mysteries, small hurts that come from loss. She touches her arm. How to live in such bewilderment. There is a place I go to remember. When I forget, there are and have been good souls who love me. It is simple, really, she says. You give when you have, and when you get too much. May I touch the lamb's ear? Is it true hummingbirds come to the bee balm? Will the honeybees return? It hurts to love this hard. I have a tired heart. How far back must I travel to see him, to hold him with my arms and say, what right do you have to my body? I sense the loss of all things, sunlight and grass, tiny bees that once I did not know were bees, gentle pollinators, giving, getting. How the little birds would sing and the other ones scratching through the undergrowth. How far back must I go to love my body when the memory of stone still speaks? Once they called it the backlands, a hinterland of wilderness. I have a body, she says, and no voice. The wilderness, a voice and no body. Is there no way to save it? All streams flow to the sea. How far back must I go to love another's body? There is a loneliness, she says, and it leaves little room to remember. Count me among the animals. They're small, committed. I heard souls, calls, she says, puts a hand to her face. The forest receives exiles, solo natives. Some call it the healing woods. Too much longing for a body to contain. I want to shatter every reflection I see, want my body to be free of its weight in water. I forgive you. You are loved. Void, voice, violence, solace in everything but the body. I want to ask for a departure, lone trek to the edge of things, deep conifer forest, ground soft and cold, needles tossed by prints of mustelids, foxes, the burrowings of sparrows, crisp, fresh breath, air and lung, quiet release. Here, I forget. In a dream, I see endless forest, dark, damp, a far field at center, water dammed and slowed near the source. The woods were once filled with them. I must believe a voice outlives the body. No sound, buzz. She looks into a tree. To love, she says, comes from the body. You give yourself first. You may not believe it. To hurt in tenderness, love to violence. I'm sorry, you will never inhabit my body, so love it as it were your own. It is such a wilderness, this body. The body is a wilderness, bewilderment of the body, what is wild in its being, to bewilder, to be wild, willing, vulnerable to element. I cannot bring you safety, but believe I will never cause you harm. It is such a wilderness, they say. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Peter.